Well, welcome everybody to another episode of the Killer Kaiju podcast. Today we have a bonus episode with continuing our fantastic series of the Friday the 13th movies. As always, it's Lucas and Josh.
Hi.
And we have finally approached part 7, The New Blood. This one is a little weird.
Why do they call it New Blood?
I like it. We'll get into that when we start this commentary because I have a lot of opinions on that. I know we've talked about it briefly in the past. So without further ado, folks, if this is your first time in the podcast, we do a commentary / podcast. So what that means is we watch the movie along with you. If you have it at home, you can also watch it and use our podcast as a commentary. We'll provide fun facts, our opinion, have a few laughs along the way, talk about what we love. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole point of this podcast. And we tear them apart. I don't think we'll tear this one apart. I think we'll actually enjoy this one. I like this one. The last one was Jason Lives. That's a really good one. I feel like me and Josh hold that one pretty high in our opinions, at least like in our rankings. That being said,
is basically good unless the last two.
Yeah, I feel that. And we'll definitely be doing a ranking at the end of all the mainline films. So without further ado, folks, we give a time countdown if you have the movie at home, if you want to watch it with us. If not, you're watching on YouTube, you have a timestamp provided if you'd like to watch along, and then that will be provided so you can keep up to where we are on the film. Without other further ado, let me say that 3 more times. Yeah, exactly. We'll do the countdown and let's begin. So we are at the beginning of the film, so we'll count down and hit play. You ready, Josh?
Yep.
All right, let's kill it. 3, 2, 1, action. You like what I did there? Slid that in.
You're terrible.
I know. All right.
Movie.
So this movie is cool and different from the other ones in a lot of ways. One, this is Kane Hodder's first performance as Jason, which a lot of people won't, especially like the hardcore fans of Friday the 13th, when they think Jason Voorhees, a lot of people tend to, flock to Kane Hodder because let's be real, the man's mammoth and just evil incarnate, and he does a great job at portraying Jason. Maybe not the best films, but he definitely, I feel like, has like a top quality performance.
Well, he was a nice dude when I met him.
So jealous. I like the way this one starts. They kind of give you a recap of all the movies. So even if you've never seen a Friday movie, you could probably just watch this one and get a good sum up of what's happened. You even get to see like some of the kills replayed. I like it. The wheelchair. I love that kill. Best wheelchair ever. It doesn't knock over once. So yeah, let's just dive right into the name. I want to get it out of the way now. The New Blood. So this could mean a lot of things in my mind. So
new camp?
Yeah, new camp. New blood as in like a new character who combats Jason, because now this is the first one where Tommy Jarvis isn't involved. So is it like a new person? New Jason? Like there's so many different ways. I don't know. If you guys are listening to this and you have an opinion on what you think it means, leave it below in the comments or feel free to add us at Twitter, Killer Kaiju Cast, because we think that, at least, I don't know. I think it's, at least when they were doing the film, I think it has to do with the fact that it was a new character not being Tommy Jarvis. Like it's the new blood, because maybe they plan to have her involved in future films. But I feel like it can relate to the fact that we get a new Jason actor. You know what I mean? And like you said, new camp, different place. It could have a lot to do with that. Oh, the RV kill. Awesome. So many great kills. I love how they just recap so many. Shoo. That being said, we've been keeping a kill count, folks, while we've been watching these movies.
And boob count.
And boob count, though I don't have the boob count on me right now. But I do, in front of me, have the kill count. Josh, how many kills do you think we're at?
Like 80?
Wow, that's really fucking close. So we are at 84 kills.
84.
Big 8-4. There you go. Oh, this is gnarly.
Still have like 5 movies, something like that. 4 movies.
Yeah, I mean, technically,
like he's gonna get. I think he's gonna break 100.
Oh, for sure. I think honestly, he rivals with all the mainline ones. So we're talking like, I mean, in my mind, the franchise consists of the first one up until Jason Takes Manhattan. I feel like all the ones after that are kind of like one-off films, like Goes to Hell, Freddy versus Jason, the remake. Like I feel like all of those are kind of out of the franchise. Like they don't really keep up with the story continuity. They very much stray away from it. So in my mind, I'll keep these ones separate, but we'll definitely add them all after up. I feel we'll crack 200 if you combine Freddy versus Jason and Jason Goes to Hell and the remake and Jason X. I think we'd easily top 200 kills.
We'll have to see, because I was just thinking that he might be the one person that like has the most kills in a single franchise.
Yeah, I would say that, because I mean,
like
Freddy's killed Halloween, a lot of people, but it's more strained out.
And like there's only what, like 8 movies with the remake, something like that. There's a lot with the Friday franchise. Even with Halloween, there's like probably like 10 kills maybe per movie.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not the biggest expert on the Halloween movies, but I feel like it's a lot of tension building and a lot of like, atmosphere,
finding people.
Exactly, and like getting away, but then still being pursued. I feel like Michael Myers is definitely like the pursuer, while Jason is the come out of nowhere and smack your face sideways with a machete.
Like, I adore Halloween, but that would definitely be the Lord of the Rings of like the horror franchise, where it's a lot of walking before before you get to the point.
You got to walk before you can run.
Exactly. The Lord of the Rings is dope too, so works out well.
I know we SB
just
watch The Hobbit. I mean, maybe it kind of got monsters in it. We can wing it.
Yeah, Harry Potter does, I guess, too. What?
We're not doing the Harry Potter movies.
There's spooky things.
Like the those ghosty bitches that guard Azkaban. The
like
Dementors.
Dumbledore.
He's a monster on his own. Hagrid.
Haggard.
So I know we've been putting a lot of praise to this movie. There's a lot of things I don't like about this movie. And right off the bat, we kind of get one of the things I really don't like about it. And that's simple as put as
the stupid gloves.
Yeah. By the way, folks, if this is your first time on the podcast and you haven't seen this movie, go watch this movie. Because unlike most of the movies we review, me and Josh have both seen this movie. So we are going to be talking spoilers throughout the film. Like how it says Friday the 13th on the little calendar on the door. It's a nice touch.
Well, what other day did you expect?
Obviously, right? I really don't. I like Tina's idea as a character. I don't like the actress who plays Tina, young or old.
I was like, the kid or the other one?
Yeah, no, either. And the one thing I don't like is how her father's tied into the whole thing.
Yeah, father seems like a dink.
Yeah, we see some stupid shit at the end. Like when he pops out.
She just wants to go fishing.
Right? Where's her rod, though? She's gonna get it out of her with her teeth.
Lobster trapping.
Ow. Some dynamite.
Lobster trapping. Oh, what a dick.
Yeah, exactly.
The mom should drop kick him in the
deserves
water.
Imagine that's how it starts. She just runs up and boots him into the lake. Yeet. Here we get the really funny stare scene. It looks like she's trying not to shit her pants. I wonder, honestly, where the idea came up to have telekinesis in this movie. They're like, yo, Jason keeps messing all these people up. Imagine if he tackled someone with superpowers. Come on.
But like, this is also where we're getting like the zombie version of Jason. So maybe that's like the paranormal. They wanted to try and throw that up a lot more.
Yeah.
At this point, now he's dead. Yeah, well, that plus like now he's actually dead, in the water and just been like rotting in decay. So how are they going to explain this other than like supernatural powers?
That is true. Director for this movie,
big brain,
John Carl. Sorry for butchering your last name. Buechler, 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 Buechler. Either way, Sir John, the director of this film. He's also done a lot of makeup. That's kind of what he's known for. He did the special effects and directed this movie. He was kind of the head of makeup effects department for New World Pictures. He did Hatchet, the special effects in Hatchet, Reanimator, and a few other films. And it was actually really interesting. If it wasn't for him, we would have never gotten Kane Hodder as Jason. And that's just fact, because I do know that he really pushed to get Kane Hodder as the Jason. Like, I think it was he saw him eat live. He saw Kane Hodder ate live worms on the set of a movie called Prison in '87, and he pushed for Paramount Pictures to let him cast him in the role. because like he was so persistent that he wanted to have him, because originally it was CJ Graham who was going to reprise his role as Jason. But he's like, no, I want Kane Hodder. This is who I want. This is who needs to be in this movie.
Yeah. So now we can talk about Kane Hodder more. So that man got burnt doing stunt work, and like his half of his body is all burnt, which is rad as shit. And he still does stunt work. And then on another note, he also played Ed Gein and BTK.
Man's a tank. Though,
like,
I mean, those films.
I don't get why they.
But
No, I don't get why they play the role. But either way, still rad. Kane Hodder's awesome.
Yeah, Kane Hodder like lives for the Jason role. I mean, one of the most commercialized facts about this movie, really funny story that a lot of fans talk about, is that when they were filming, Kane Hodder stayed just like a mile down a dirt road by where the filming was, where they were filming. And one night at the end around 2 a.m., he walked back to his cabin in the dressing room, but he was still in the Jason costume. And he walked through the woods. And as he was walking, some man approached him who was like walking in the woods at the time. And he didn't reply because he's like, the man walked up and asked him like, "Oh, are you with the movie? Are you filming?" And he didn't reply because he thought it was a pretty stupid question to ask, which it was. I mean, he's in the outfit.
Yeah.
And the guy asked again, and all Kane did was take a lunge at him and grunted. And the guy like took off tripping and running from him. And they were warned that like apparently the local sheriff was contacted and said he was going to stop by for a kind of like a follow-up report, and he never did. But that's just funny.
But yeah, I mean, we're like 7 movies in, and at this point you don't know who Jason is.
Mm-hmm.
So like, just saying, under a rock.
There you go. I do know too that originally the role of Tina was supposed to go to someone completely different. I believe she was in the last one. Yeah, Carrie Noonan, the actress who played Paula in the last movie.
Yep.
She originally applied for this role, not knowing that it was a Friday the 13th role, because as we talked about, they always put it under like a different guise to kind of hide the fact of what movie it was. So the title of the movie was called Birthday Bash, which is funny because this movie kind of all bases around a birthday. And she quickly realized that it was a Friday the 13th film and confessed that she starred in the last movie. So the director, John, he decided not to cast her.
Well, I mean, just checking names, you would know that, but
I know, idiot.
Also, could you imagine what like Birthday Bash would be? That sounds like a pretty cool concept for a horror movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I will say one thing. I'll give credit to the guy who plays the therapist, or the kind of guy that's with them right now.
Yeah,
Dr. Cruz.
Therapist thing.
Yeah, psychiatrist. Thank you. Dr. Cruz is his name. He's good. I think he's the one actor in this film that's actually really good. He's mysterious, but also like he generally kind of acts like he cares, but something's up, like something's not quite right with him. And as the movie goes along, you kind of uncover that maybe he's not telling the truth and that he's trying to push Tina in different ways than try to help her. I really like that angle of the movie. And I think without him, this movie would have really fell flat, because clearly as we're watching this, Tina's acting is terrible. Like, look at her. It's just bad. I feel like this is probably like, for this being one of my favorite movies, like one of my, not top favorite, but definitely some of my favorite Friday movies, this is among them. And for being that, I think she's probably like one of my least favorite, like final girls of the series.
Yeah.
I really don't like her.
Tina, you just have an inner hatred.
Yeah. There's some scenes where she's all right. And I feel like it's the scenes when she's being snobby to the other people, because she's like kind of like fighting with the other bitch who's like getting all like defensive, that she's like intruding on her territory and being the hot girl type deal, And I feel like in those moments she works, because she's like, I'm not putting up with that shit, blah, blah, blah. But the stuff where she's playing like the guilty girl and all that, like, I just don't like.
I just always want Jason to get the victim. So
yeah,
overall, I don't really care about like their characters or anything. Like Tommy Jarvis was rad, but mostly Corey Feldman.
Yeah. But at least like the overall character of Tommy had like, he changed throughout the movies. And stuff. His character changed throughout the movies, and they really wrote for the actor in mind. And I feel like in this one, they just didn't. They wrote the character and just casted wrong, and then just dealt with it.
Maybe.
Well, like usually I feel like they would like rewrite to kind of go
fuck up on their part.
Yeah, but you know what? It's okay though, because this movie is good. Like, it is still a good film. It's got good writing. It's got an all right story. But the mom's okay. Nothing
That
about write home
hair.
about, but yeah. But like I said, I do really applaud Dr. Cruz. His acting in this movie is actually really good. I enjoy it. I remember even being a kid and watching these movies when I was younger, and his role always stood out to me. He always creeped me out, like, because secretly he was like pretending to do the right thing, but really causing so much harm. And in all this, and then like later on, we find out he like lies and pulls some shady shit just to make her like more like angry and aggressive to try and unleash her powers more. Like, there's just something so sinister about a man who plays innocent but is evil, rather than just someone like Jason who's straight up evil.
Yeah.
Like, it's always the hidden evilness and sinisterness that really gets me off guard. And especially when I was a kid, that shit creeped me out, right? Because when you're a kid, you're always afraid of what you don't understand.
I feel like if you didn't know who, like, when Jason would come up at first, you would think it would be that guy too. Like the first like 20 minutes, you'd be like, this guy's gonna be Jason, and then you're like, oh shit, no, I'm kidding. Yeah. I'm a liar.
Like, there we go. See, if they pulled that kind of shit for the new beginning and had him be like the Jason S character, that would have been a cool whodunit twist. Someone trying to push somebody to, further their abilities or further their trauma. Notice how he looks completely different now.
Jason. Yeah.
I mean, technically, he's been in the water all this time. Technically, the way we saw him in the beginning was when she was a kid. But like, all of his clothes is deteriorated and his flesh.
It's been a while.
I mean, we brought it up last time, but yeah,
I still think his legs would be floating upwards.
Oh yeah, he would totally be floating in general. I mean, he's got steel toe boots on. They're pretty heavy.
I don't know,
but I feel like that's a little too far of a stretch.
Kane Hodder.
And I'm like, so did she like get a telepathic connection with him? Is she trying to like bring her dad back and then he brings Jason back? That's the idea, right? Because she sees the picture of her dad and wants her dad back. So she's just standing by the water thinking, I wish I could bring my dad back. I wish I could bring him back. And then that kind of force goes to Jason's body instead of her father's.
I think so, because it happened in like the same place kind of thing. So it just happened to be the same place.
I guess
that's like 1 in a million kind of thing.
Oh, I love the exposed spinal cord. It's one of my favorite things. This is probably my favorite looking Jason. I definitely
really do like films. The decayed ones.
Yeah, like I like his acting and his overall not appearance, but just the way he presents himself a lot in the other ones. Like this one, I find he's a little slow and not as menacing. Like I like the fast walking Jason and like when he's really lumbering and big. And this one, he kind of has a slouch to him, but the look really is good. Like I do enjoy it. I feel like Kane Hodder does a better job presenting himself as Jason, like with his posture.
He's a tank
in future films. Well, in this one, I feel like he was just kind of scratching the surface of what he could do as Jason. See, he's manipulating poor Tina again. My God, this guy's just an evil son of a bitch. Like most Friday movies, too, as we're going to get into with the kills, like, even John, the director himself, has fumed many times in the public about the amount of edits that had to be done by the MPAA to avoid an X rating. It was one of the highest submitted films. This one had to be resubmitted 9 times before it got granted an R rating. So it's one of the most heavily censored entries in the entire series, being that many times it being re-edited.
Could you imagine seeing all of these movies unedited, the original footage, everything?
They exist somewhere in Paramount's vault, I swear. They would. I wish. Oh, that's interesting too. I just realized that. A little fun fact I just learned while doing some information about this film prior, I forgot to mention too, is this was originally intended to bring Jason and Freddy Krueger together on screen for the first time. However, when
they couldn't come to an agreement.
Yep. And New Line Cinemas, they hold the rights for the different movies. They couldn't agree behind the scenes. So the script was rewritten to pit Jason up against Tina instead. So that's why we had more of a supernatural thing. Because obviously when we see Freddy versus Jason, it's very much like telekinetic powers, because obviously Freddy can do whatever he wants in the dream world. So that probably makes a lot of sense to why they wanted to pit him against someone with telekinetic abilities.
Because I know even with the Freddy versus Jason franchise as is, that's why we haven't gotten a second movie, is now they can't come to an agreement again. But with the whole court case with Friday the 13th, there definitely is a possibility.
I missed this gentleman's name. Who's the young guy who comes in? Did we get his name?
I don't remember. I wasn't paying attention.
It's gotta be something like John, or I forget his name already. Nick. His name is Nick. It just took me a minute. Yeah, Nick. I like Nick in this movie. I think he plays the handsome, good mannered, has his heart in the right place guy. Like even later on, like when Tina kind of gets bullied and pushed around by the other kids, he kind of stands up for her and realizes that they're being stupid. He's not like the, just thinking with his dick guy. Like he's got a good head on his shoulders. And I really like how his connection with Tina. I do like that. Yeah, he's got his head on his shoulders for now. Who knows for how long?
Dun dun dun.
But yeah, they're a really good plus into this. I feel like almost, I mean, we're gonna get into it, but the bitchy girl who's on the other team, who's like the popular girl who's like fucks with Tina and is really rude.
Yeah.
I feel like that actress would have been better as Tina, and the actress who plays Tina would have been better in her role.
Possibly.
If you swapped them around, I feel like that would have been a better suit. Just the fact that like Tina's a little taller and she kind of doesn't do trauma well, but I feel like she could pull off the bitchy attitude. But the scenes when the other girl is like has some kind of like fake trauma, whether she's faking it in the movie or she's generally terrified of what's happening, her almost emotion is better than Tina's, the actress who plays Tina. I don't know. Like I said, it's not terrible by any means. It's not like it's unbearable. It's not like it's like a Razzie level. Like she fucking deserves to be humiliated for it. Not up to like, Godzilla 98.
No one deserves to be bullied.
Oh, spike through. Dun, dun, dun. Like imagine how brutal that kill would have been before it got edited. Damn shame. It's a damn shame, folks.
Now come on back and get killed too.
And it makes sense because how in the last movie you said that like was the last one where you said Jason's mask was kind of round and weird?
Yeah.
So it makes sense because the axe for this movie, or the axe, the mask for this movie was actually made from the original mold that they used for part 3. So that was kind of like how they went back to base with like the mask design. And I think it seems a lot like the third one.
Yeah, because I know with that last one, like they used a mold, but in the end they pressed it down on the ground, so it just didn't have the egg shape that it normally would, and it was wider.
Yeah.
So like that was pretty cool.
So I was right. It was released in a documentary when they were talking about the title being The New Blood. It was with the intention of Tina becoming a main protagonist who would reoccur in future sequels, just like Tommy Jarvis. But the idea was shelved and kind of dispatched and ignored.
Well, I'm happy with that one.
Oh, I forgot about the nerdy Star Trek dude. This guy's awesome. Starlacon. This is me.
I like it.
Oh, yeah. Only one human being and his woman. And they're like, all right, we're going to move away. Eddie. Of course, his name's Eddie. That's so funny.
For now.
Yeah. Want to hear a useless fact that's just kind of funny and stupid about this movie?
Yep.
Perfect. That's what we love to do here. So they actually, because there was an active like gator problem in the area where they were filming, they actually hired a person, the local gator man. His name was Leslie Busby, to kind of keep away and wrangle the gators to keep them away from the actors. However, when they started filming, it was in October, November, which is not a season for gators. They usually are like they swim away or they hibernate in that time period. So he ended up just kind of sitting around staring at the lake all day and got paid to do it.
I want that job.
Right?
I mean, only when it's like that, though, because the reality of being an alligator wrangler would not be pleasant, or at least not for me.
No, I agree. I wouldn't want to do that.
I'm not risking it to not work.
That's so sad. Remember how it was like Paramount has all these films in the backup vault. They'll totally be able to see it one day. It's a lie because any hopes is extinguished because any uncut versions of the film and outtakes were destroyed by Paramount and no longer exist. Boo. Boo.
You're hilarious.
That's bullshit.
It's the way she goes, boys.
I know. So this is a really cool. Oh, this is cool. I do like these scenes when Tina kind of sees something that's not actually happening. So she sees him.
That Jason is so sick.
It kind of makes her seem like an ESP or like a clairvoyant because she sees him choke on the beer. And instead of seeing him dying, they see their friend who hasn't arrived yet, whose birthday it is, getting killed, which actually happened. So I wonder when she woke Jason up from the water, if she somehow gained some kind of telepathic connection with him. And that's why she was able to see what he's done. So much unexplained that I'd like to know. Here we get to kind of see the evil of Dr. Cruz here. She comes in and she sees the metal stake in the door. And spoiler alert, Dr. Cruz takes that metal spike and hides it just so he can make her seem more crazy. So hopefully she'll snap, essentially. Because the longer he keeps her, crazy, the longer he can keep doing experiments on her and keep documenting everything, which essentially gives him a job. Manipulative son of a bitch. But yeah, this is the one before I got sidetracked by that scene. This film holds, I believe, the highest time of Jason unmasked.
Well, at least this is a good version of him unmasked, right?
Exactly.
Like he's all decayed and shit, not all lumpy.
I want to know how you get for how good he looks in this movie to how bad he looks in the next one. He looks utterly terrible. And there's some scenes in the next one where he's like a kid again. I'm not going to get into it. We'll get into that when we watch that one. It's bad. It's just not okay. Help me. Help me. Help me. So is it, I believe, I'm trying to remember the actress's name who plays Tina. I believe it's this girl. Let me just double check before I go blah blah blah. Yes, it is. Okay. So Lara Park Lincoln, who is the girl actress who plays Tina in this movie, who I keep shitting on. She did some of her own stunts and also gave herself migraines by doing the bulk of her own crying.
Yeah, I could see that.
Going overboard, girl. I feel bad everything she went through because it's really not that great in this movie.
Dead cats, dead cats, dead cats.
Dan, we need wood. Yeah, she needs wood, all right. Is this, I could be wrong, this is the sleeping bag kill movie, right? She's the one who gets smacked against the tree. Yes.
I believe so.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
I remember. That's a good kill. I'm excited for this one. There's some good ones. I forgot to mention one of the coolest things I love about this movie. It may just be me because I'm a huge fan, but for those who are from the area who know FM or Nash the Slash, the entire soundtrack of this movie, like a good chunk of it, I know for a fact, Magic in Your Eyes, The Real Thing, the song Dream Girl, Take the Time to Dream, and I'm Not Mad were all written by FM. So that's consisting of Cameron Hawkins and Nash the Slash and Michael White, I forget his name. It's Waite. But either way, Nash the Slash, phenomenal musician. Josh, do you remember Nash the Slash? We were talking about him?
He does the cover, right? Of Baba Riley.
Yeah, he does tons of covers. Dead Man's Curve. For those who haven't heard of Nash the Slash, go check out his stuff. Unfortunately, he's no longer with us. He passed away a few years ago. But he's a very talented one-man band. He did like all sorts of covers and originals. Oh, the neck, he punches through him. Oh, it's brutal. Sorry, I got off the topic. It's just a good kill. Nash the Slash, really cool. He always performs with his head covered in like bandages of some sort, and he does like colored bandages. He does really cool like shock rock kind of performances. He plays like a mandolin, and he does all sorts of really cool covers. Definitely check him out. He's a phenomenal musician. Love Nash the Slash. My dad grew up with him, and like I grew up with my dad showing me him, and it's kind of got a lot of nostalgia for me. So I thought it was really cool when I found out he did the soundtrack and helped with FM for this movie.
Yeah, I know him because of your dad as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, here it comes. I also love the way he like just rips open the tent.
Yeah, just grabs her like a bag of potatoes in the supermarket.
Another thing we never gotten, we actually get noises from Jason in this one. Like, he knows when he bends down, he like breathes. You actually hear him like breathing and shit and like grunting when he gets hit. I like that. That he's not as silent.
Wow.
I wish he hit her twice, like hit her once and then went, nope, not good enough. Boom. But we get that.
I'd have to agree
in the future, I think.
I definitely have to agree there. Should have smacked her a few more times against the tree.
Yeah, like, if they like hit her the first time and then you heard like coughing and like a little bit of like a whimper and pain, and then he did it a second time and then it silenced her. That would
because I don't think she would have died just from the one swing. Personally, she would have been fucked up. But like,
even with Jason's strength, like I think she would have at least lived a little bit and then finished her off with the second hit. I agree. He not gonna be here. He dead. They dead as fuck. So I'm confused. So the guy and the girl who died in the beginning, that was their birthday. That was them. The girl and Dan who just died, they don't have any connection with these kids, right? They were just people camping.
Yeah, they were just campers.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to be sure. Because I'm like, I forget if they were related to them or not. At
least I don't think so, but I think they were just campers.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. At least that's my.
I was also thinking because I was also thinking to myself, I'm like, I like that instead of Jason's just haunting the camp, now it's kind of just the forest.
Yeah. Just overall the whole area, like he'll fuck you up.
Yeah.
Because at this point, the camp's obviously been, torn down because where he was buried or like in the lake, that was the camp. And now the camp's gone and they have this house here where they lived growing up in their cottage. So I imagine
now he's just wandering around, right? So like
just overall the area.
Whoever's in the forest, whether it be campers or
if Crystal Lake's still there, he'll be there.
The sign's down there, so
exactly.
Boom. Logic.
Well, yeah, that's the whole reason it messed you up. Well, I'm really surprised about that. So the actor who plays Nick, so these two actress and actors here, Lar, who plays Tina, and Kevin who plays Nick, apparently they did not get along making this movie despite playing love interests, so much that the actor who played Nick, Kevin, wrote his own script for this movie where it was only a dream and his character and Nick had killed Tina.
I like that.
Also weird too, not a single kill takes place during the day in this movie, I don't think. I'm trying to think. I think they all take place at night.
Kinda.
I'm pretty sure all of them are nighttime, or at least dark out.
Yeah, well, I mean, usually.
I mean, it's easier to hide makeup and I mean, if you kill people in broad daylight, it'd be kind of obvious that they died.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Kill her. Push her down a hill.
So I think Melissa is the bitchy character's name. And Susan, the person who plays Melissa, when she auditioned for this movie, she didn't even know it was a horror movie. Like, she had no idea what she was getting into. Which probably only makes her more suiting to play Tina. Sorry, I'm just shitting on Lars acting here for playing Tina over and over again. I feel like this one's like definitely in like my top 5 movies. And it's a lot of it is just because of how Jason's like, shown to us in this movie and his kills and how he portrays himself in this movie. I feel like a lot of the characters in this one are rather forgettable, other than, like I said, Dr. Cruz and Nick. I think those are the only 2 characters I really like in this movie, and Melissa, obviously. But like, even though Tina's got like special telekinetic abilities and all this shit, I feel like she's a little forgettable.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I don't really care for Tina, and that's kind of where I'm like, if they continued with the character, she still wouldn't have been memorable to me. She's just some basic ass character to me, like just creating time killer.
Yeah.
Like,
I really feel for this girl here too. This girl here in the glasses, you can definitely tell her she's like, lack of a better term, like the runt of the group. Like, she tries to want to be like the other girls, and she's obviously like more of like a proper girl and not like, lack of a better term, like rude and bitchy and slutty. Yeah. Like most of the girls are in these movies. And I feel for her because like finally she has a chance to make a move on somebody, and she just, the second she just steps out of her comfort zone and tries to do something different, she pays the price.
Yeah.
So I gotta point out too that is it Michael? It's gotta be Michael. Yeah. So the cool guy.
Yep.
One of the pins on his army jacket, the red button with the white triangle emblem.
Yep.
You know that's from?
Nope.
The Robotech saga, the Macross saga from Robotech. That was a nice little touch. Oh yeah. She's such a bitch. And Eddie's just going along with it because he's like, hey, people like me, people are talking to me. But see, like her expression there and like how she reacted. It's like already I think she would have been a better actress than Tina. All right, I'm done. That's hopefully the last time I shit on her acting, I swear. I'm sorry,
hater.
I don't know. I often think like, okay, like what if I got to be in one of these movies? Like who would I play in a Friday the 13th movie? Like I really yeah, but I feel like I wouldn't really fit in a lot of these movies, honestly.
No, you'd be like Shelly. We would both I was gonna say, actually, be like Shelly. You'd be like Shelly, or like Shelly mixed with this guy with the green jacket, you know, like all those kind of weird, funny characters. I feel like that would be us no matter what.
I feel like you would have been.
We're not like super cool, but like we're there.
I feel like I would have been a little bit like Shelly, maybe a little more reserved. But honestly, I feel like if I had to cast you as any character, like literally Crispin Glover's character in part 4, like his kind of attitude, that would have been like you. I think you would have fit like perfectly because he's like, you know, kind of quirky and kind of fun, but at the same time, like he's also like a quick whippersnapper. Like, you know, he has some like comebacks and some jokes that he and some shade he throws at people.
Yeah.
You know, like he's like, well, punch that into your calculator, you know, and he's kind of got like a little like nerve to him.
Kind of an asshole.
Yeah, but not like
yeah, that's me.
Asshole. I feel like that also would have been a good role to cast you in.
I like that Tina just threw a TV, and now that you pointed out the Freddy thing, I keep thinking about the "Welcome to Primetime, bitch."
Welcome to Primetime, bitch. That like, there's like, I mean, we'll get into it when we do a Nightmare on Elm Street series in the future, but that and like the now I'm playing with power. There's like two of my so many little things. There's so many good kills in those movies. So like Jason has the most violent, but I feel like Freddy definitely has the most creative just because of the tools he has at his disposal, right?
Oh yeah.
The dream killer. He can do anything.
Anything is possible. And like, what's worse than not sleeping for a really long time?
Exactly.
Like, you just can't function. So logically, he's probably the most scariest, especially because I love my sleep.
Yeah. Yeah. Never. Penis. Damn it. Obviously, that's what penis. They intend you to see. Yeah, see, now she says huge bulge in your pants.
Not yet.
Oh, yeah, really, though. Here we go. See, skinny dipping leads to what? Death.
Killing. I like this.
Always.
I'm patiently waiting for premarital sex.
I feel like we haven't actually seen full boob yet. I don't think we can add it to the boob counter. We just see a little bit of side boob and booty. I imagine that the original cut had a lot more.
Sounds cold.
Yeah, she looks freezing. I mean, this is filmed in October.
That's exactly where I'm like, it sounds cold. I'm out.
Oh, this is the axe kill. I like this shot here. We kind of get a throwback to the POV shots. So we haven't gotten in a while, to be honest.
Of Pam.
You kind of see him kind of like see it and back away. And I like that shot. It reminds me a lot of the intro to the first one. Oh, that's a gnarly split of the face.
Shut up, bitch.
And Jason's in the water. Marco Polo. Nice callback to the Jaws angle there.
There's bush, ass, and tit.
There you go. There you go. There's the shot.
I do like that this Jason is like in water and on land. This is where we more get the water stuff.
Yeah.
Cool. And I think also don't get how deep that would be right there. You're only like fucking 5 feet out. What are you saying?
King Tut rises from the tomb.
Yeah, that's definitely you.
I also think that the reason they're able to do a lot of underwater shots in this movie is because, unlike the other movies, this suit was designed to be in the water because he came out of the water. So they didn't have to worry about getting it wet and ruining it because that was kind of what it was designed to be.
And then also Kane Hodder, he's a stunt man originally, so he was doing a lot of his own stunts basically and an actor. So
exactly. So he was probably more prepped to do that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Unlike the other people who are just actors, a lot of them are special effects artists.
Asshole.
Yes, absolutely. So I was just reading down here too. So obviously Freddy versus Jason didn't happen for this. It's not what happened because of the issues we were talking about earlier. But Paramount was still high on the idea of Jason versus somebody. So the marketing angle that they substituted Freddy Krueger for Stephen King's inspired character, a telekinetic troubled teenager named Tina Shepard, based on, who'd you guess? Carrie White. So that was kind of literally the idea they were going for, but they obviously couldn't get the rights to King's novel, so they just went with Tina Shepard instead of Carrie.
Should have did like Myers or fucking Ash.
Right?
Like I have a list. I think Ash though, like Ash would have been a good storyline of just trying to like fuck with Jason, and it would have been a very humorous film.
Yeah, I feel like Ash would have kicked his ass though.
But that's like he's zombie version, right? So it would be more like the Evil Dead kind of thing where he'd be used to it, but also like, wow, he never dies.
I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
So that's where I'm like, at least that's kind of a one up for him. Like Myers would just be like, what the fuck? And it would just be a giant like Clash of Titans moment, which is still nice. Or like have Chucky versus Jason.
So I don't know if you knew this, but did you during the beginning of the film, the guy who's narrating the movie, where he's like, a killer not yet dead, and doing that kind of voiceover?
Yeah,
that was Walt Gorney, who was the actor who played Crazy Ralph in the original and the second movie.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, so he kind of came back to do kind of like the narration over there. I thought that was a nice little touch.
I miss Crazy Ralph.
Me too.
No.
Of course.
He's a liar.
Just a flashback to the sleeping bag kill. Apparently, Kane Hodder had difficulty with the scene where he does that because the dummy that was inside the sleeping bag was heavier than he thought it would be. So the scene required a number of retakes because he kept swinging it as hard as he could. But no matter how hard he swung the sleeping bag, he couldn't get it to look right. But by the final take, he was so fed up with the scenario that he dropped the bag. He kicked it angrily. This is the shot that appears in the final film. In retrospect, Hodder said that was one of his favorite kills. And then that's why he later wanted to bring it back in Jason X. That's funny. So when he kind of whips her against the tree and then kicks the bag, it's because he still couldn't get it to look right, but they just kind of kept that one.
I guess that's also why they didn't do the two swing then, right? Because it was just.
Well, I mean, they had enough takes.
Didn't look right, yeah. But like didn't look right, so he's just like, I'm unhappy with this. So if it was the two, it would have been like very like cloppy, like him pulling back and then doing another swing.
Yeah, I guess
it just would have looked double sloppy. If at least that's what he thought. So he's like, let's just do the one.
I guess. And it was pretty smart to cast Kane Hodder as Jason because you wouldn't have to hire two people. Like you wouldn't have to hire an actor and a stuntman. He could do everything.
Exactly.
Like, he did all of his own stunts in Jason's outfit, like including falling through the stairway in this movie. And when the porch falls on his head later on, like all of that was done by him. So, I mean, that way you only have to make one costume. You don't have to make a suit that fits multiple people or have a look-alike. So I thought that was pretty good.
If I'm correct, he also hurt his back or something in the fall when he went through the stairs later on.
Oh, possibly. Possibly at all. Kane Hodder talks about a near fatal take that's in this movie. When he falls through the stairs, only a certain amount of the steps were meant to give away. Hodder's head narrowly missed one of the actual steps as he went through.
Ah, that's what it was.
Yeah, so he almost knocked himself straight out, caught his head on the stairs on the way down.
Ah, look at us go. We know some knowledge.
Look at that.
Look at that. So we've done this before.
And obviously, as always, folks, if you're watching this and you have a really cool fun fact that we haven't mentioned or just want to elaborate on, feel free to leave it below in the comments or, add us at Killer Kaiju Cast or at our Facebook page.
I demand you tell me facts.
Tell us all the facts. Tell us we're wrong. Fight us.
More Lucas. I'll watch and laugh.
Oh my god.
Then I find this Spider-Man. I know she said Spike, but it sounded like she said Spider-Man.
Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire, where? What's this? Yeah, see. And you can tell even how Dr. Cruz gets mad. You can tell even in his stature. He's a good actor.
Some shit.
You can tell as soon as she confronts him, he starts to shake. He starts pedaling his chin with his fingers. He does all of the visual quirks that tell when a person's lying or hiding something. So you can tell he studied body language. He's a good actor. I feel like the scenes with him involved in this really are what drive this film from this angle. And that's why I'm glad he's so involved with Jason's killings, like seeing them happen. And when he meets his inevitable end later on, it makes it even more, impactful. I really enjoy it.
Maybe secretly he just wanted Jason to come back to life. That's why he brought her here.
There you go. It's all some kind of big,
big overall conspiracy. Be like, no, it wasn't you. It was Jason all along. It was just I needed her. Yeah.
So essentially what he wants to do is he wants to make her seem more dangerous so that way he can put her back in the hospital. So because they have more control over her at the hospital, so they can really maximize her effects and use her as the guinea pig they intended to do. So that makes sense because originally
this sounds like some Godzilla kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I was thinking? Stranger Things.
Yeah,
like 11.
I've only seen like 7 episodes, maybe 6.
Oh, it's a good show. I really enjoyed it. It has a dead point halfway through the series, but it gets better.
I liked it. I'm just terrible with keeping shows. Like eventually I'm just like, oh, and then I forget.
I know I do have to keep going back. Otherwise, like there's so many shows I've started and not finished. And
like the amount of times I've started Prison Break and I've gotten to like the 3rd season and I just give up, or like Breaking Bad too. I think I gave up after the 2nd season. I was like, I'm just bored of it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Course, so she sees the image of now I got to assume, and I understand that wasn't really what happened. That wasn't real, right?
No, it was fake.
Yeah, it was just something she was seeing. She's going crazy.
I think her weird, like you mentioned earlier, her weird connection with her dad, or at least what she's viewing, is now connected with Jason.
Oh, okay.
So like every time she's trying to be like, like all tripping out, she's now just seeing Jason.
Oh, okay. I believe
that's my theory.
Movie, there's one kill scene kind of where I'm pretty sure it's this one. It has to be because it's not the next one, and I haven't seen it yet. But there's a scene where someone's in the kitchen and he's walking through the house, and Jason's kind of in the dark corner and kind of following him in the shadows as he's moving through the house. It gives me such a Michael Myers feeling. It really reminds, because you know how like in the Halloween films, Michael's always just like in the dark or hiding, and you can just see his face through the shadow.
Yeah,
like that's kind of what John Carpenter's whole style's about. I feel like that is used in one of these. It's got to be this movie. We'll get to it when we get to it. But see, this is what I was talking about. She finally steps out of her comfort zone, stalls up a little bit, and pays the ultimate price. She doesn't have her glasses on, so how can you even see anything, girl?
So, like, I know this is off topic, but anyone watched the UFC fight, seen Conor McGregor break his ankle? That's monstrous.
Yeah, I did see that.
Now, brutal.
Getting off topic about it, did he? Now, is it from he kicked and broke it from the kick impact and then went to step back on his ankle and it broke?
I don't think so, because at least what I heard is that he went to swing and then he went to step back and then he turned his ankle, and the way that he turned, it just like flopped over.
You gotta be, for someone who literally uses their shin and foot as a literal lethal weapon, that just stepping on it the wrong way shouldn't cause any issues.
That's where I'm at. And then I'm just like, wow, that looks painful as fuck. Kudos to you, my friend.
Yeah, like, goddamn. I feel
bad. UFC's crazy.
That's his whole career, right? And
yeah, we'll see what happens, but damn, that must have sucked. Like, just step backwards awkwardly, and then there goes your fucking leg.
Can you imagine if, and we're getting back on topic now, if John Carpenter directed a Friday the 13th film?
Yeah, Michael Myers would have been in it.
It
would have been great.
I just feel like bringing that kind of filmography to a role like this would have been really intense. Like, gonna shit on Josh here for a minute, because you haven't seen The Thing, right?
Like when I was 14, 15, somewhere around there.
All right, yeah, we're definitely gonna tackle that movie, because if there's any horror movie Sir Lucas has a lot of information about and heavily loves, it is John Carpenter's The Thing. as one of my and a lot of people's favorite horror movie of all time, and I definitely want to tackle that movie because that's especially a movie that has a lot of debating over it, has a lot to talk about. Lots of people have opinions about it, so it's definitely something I want to tackle in the future.
Well, season 2, maybe.
Yeah, absolutely.
We will see.
I mean, we've already stated before we're gonna tackle. Oh, I love the way his jaw moves behind the mask. It's such a nice touch. But we've already stated that we were gonna do The Thing and The Fly.
Just depends when.
Yeah, we're gonna get
Tusk.
to it though. And Tusk. Yes.
Ooh,
those are like the big.
I got like a list. Kipsy tapes.
Yeah,
that counts as a horror movie, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like a mockumentary. We can do it. God, Kane Hodder does such a good job as Jason.
I just love decayed versions of all like the monsters. Like my favorite Myers is the Hobo Myers with the Destroyer mask, like that decayed rotten mask. That's like the best version in my opinion. Like style wise, it looks so good, good.
When the monsters, because we see these humans as monsters for the way they act, but once they start to take on the look of a monster, it really just drives it home that much farther. And it's like almost like what we thought they were has finally grown to be.
Oh, it just looks so brutal.
I like the kind of like how he's like out of focus and he slowly comes into focus.
At least she's smart and took off her shoes.
Which is why I'm like, this girl seems pretty smart. Like, it sucks that she got put in this position in the first place.
I would have loved if she was somehow the only character that lived.
Yeah.
Yeet.
Oh.
Okay. That didn't last long. Run, Tina, run.
And I mean, we have a lot of series we've talked about that we're going to get. Like, we're going to do the Nightmare on Elm Street movies. We're going to eventually get to the Halloween series. But the next film series I'd like to do after that has multiple movies in a franchise is definitely the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies.
Yes, please.
We should tackle that kind of like in the fall. It's a good fall movie. So that would be really great.
Well, at least we don't have to worry about ever running out of stuff because there's so many monster movies available.
Yeah, exactly. Like endless amounts. And like, as always, folks, if there's a movie that you love that we haven't talked about, let us know, because maybe we'll watch it if we haven't seen it, or if we have seen it, we'd love to talk about it and do a podcast about it. And hell, maybe if you're lucky and you'd like to, you can even be a guest. Oh yeah.
Lucky. Just message us.
Yeah, I was gonna say lucky. More like lucky as if we actually read it and realized it, because we're stupid. But
yeah, that's more up my alley, at least.
That's yeah, exactly. Oh, this is gonna be no good of this. I mean, I gotta point out too, like the last like couple, it was I believe it was what was the kid's name in A New Beginning? The kid who was cool, the younger kid, the younger black kid,
Reggie.
Reggie, thank you.
Reggie,
his brother and his girlfriend were also making love in a van and get killed, and now these guys do too. Like, does the Friday the 13th? Does the Friday the 13th series just have a fascination with killing these poor black characters in cars?
No, I think it's just if you're banging.
I guess.
Doesn't matter where you are. Like, they could have been in like the outhouse banging and still would have been like, you're gonna die.
This is the infamous party horn kill. As soon as I see the horn, I instantly remember it. It's like, I know this. I know this. I remember being a kid, even like before I saw all these, being like, watching all the top kills on YouTube because I wasn't able to get my hands on all the movies. And like, I remember seeing this one and being like, I can't wait to see this one. And now we do. And I loved it. It's just the best. So, I mean, we'll get to it, but Tina's mom's mom's death, apparently when in her death scene, she had like the worst cold while filming her death scene. So I wonder if we can if she actually generally looks sick. We'll have to keep an eye out for that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a head crush.
I feel like Kane Hodder got the best kills.
Like this one, must have been really
just
brutal.
Really shows the power and shit. I don't know, man. Kane Hodder's god when it comes to
And I've seen the behind in one of the documentaries they did about these movies. There's actually like little leaked footage of that death scene where it actually shows his whole jaw like collapsing into his face, and like you can see his whole head being crushed. It's wild. And it's a shame that wasn't actually allowed to be in the movie. And then we get the air horn. It's a party, bitch. This is one of those comedic kills that just works. Like there's comedic kills in the past, like when he gets thrown into the tree and he leaves the smiley face and his arm rips off. Like there's been funny kills, but I feel like that's the funniest kill that's effective. Like it's still like, yeah, that's badass, but it's also really funny.
This girl's a bitch.
Yep, I agree. It's funny though, because Eddie calls her shit. Because he's just so innocent and honest, right?
I've just been like, you're a bitch.
Isn't that what he says? I'm pretty sure.
Hell yeah, you have. The boy.
Yeah. I got a date with a soap on a rope. That's funny. Of course. And you know, since the beginning, these are the two like, you know, pot smoking, no reckless doer teenagers. So these ones you knew were gonna die at some point. I'm surprised they lived as long as they did. Like the goody girl died before they did. That's just surprising as hell.
Yeah, I mean, she was trying to get laid.
I like that shot too. I mean, all the times Jason's cut the power before, but they never show it happen, or it's like some natural event. But I like in this one, it actually shows him just fucking ripping the thing right out of the hydrometer.
Like he's also learning.
So yeah, exactly.
Changing his tactics instead of just going all in at once. Just being like, let's see.
Like, let me see. And I don't want to spell too much getting to the ending too, but just before I forget, I think this is the first time in the series. I mean, the next one kind of does it, but this is the first time in the series the movie ends without any kind of hint towards a future movie. Like they kind of ended on like a peaceful ending. There's no like huge cliffhanger. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I probably should have left it that way.
If the way I remember. Yeah. I mean, the next one had potential to be really good. It was just pulled off horribly, and the budget restrictions killed it. Absolutely slaughtered that movie.
Just not a fan, man. Not a fan.
No.
And
for all the good scenes in the next one, all the scenes in the next one, the good ones there are, do not make up for the atrocity that is the rest of that film. No shit, it's dark. I mean, it doesn't look very dark to me. That's all right. You can tell they're just high as a kite.
Oh, hell yeah. We're having a good old time.
Flashlight in the eye. There you go. I love those beefy ass flashlights. The walking in the woods flashlights.
Oh, those things are awesome. I need to buy one of those and have it around.
I love the one meme, if you guys have seen it, where it's like Uber, and they're like, where am I delivering this? He's like, look for the signal in the sky. And he's shining the light up in it. And he's like, I see it. Oh my God. This scene, he's right there. Jason's in the back left corner.
Yep.
Just standing. This is the scene I was talking about.
Conjuring moment.
Yeah, this one reminds me a lot of like a Halloween film.
What?
From the way it's shot from the top ceiling and it's a pan across the room.
It's poo.
This is a very John Carpenter scene. One take, one long shot. Very well done.
Dun, dun, dun.
Little things moving on the fridge and in the background to kind of distract your eyes from what's happening. And then when it shows this, it's like, okay, this is a Friday movie. Never mind. He even kills him with like a knife. Like a butcher's knife. Like a kitchen knife, just like Michael. I feel like this was maybe like an homage to to a Halloween movie. That whole scene.
Maybe we're like hinting that we might get Jason versus Myers, in the future. Because like if this was intended to be the Freddy, though, they might have tried to hint towards that. It's like, hey, a possibility.
I wonder with all these remakes that are happening if we will get like a Michael versus Jason movie eventually, with the Halloween movies kind of being revitalized, and ideally the Friday the 13th movie is on track to get another proper redo. I wonder. I don't know if I would appreciate it these days though. I feel like back then it would have worked, but now it just seems like a little cliche. I guess we have to know. So clearly Dr. Cruz has done his work. He knows all about Jason. Yeah, son of a bitch has been lying. We knew it.
Fuck yeah, we did. Like,
well, folks, we're coming in at the hour mark. We got about half an hour left of the film. Now is the beautiful time of our series where we talk about what the Rotten Tomatoes score is of this film.
75.
So just to put it into perspective, the last film, Part 6, if you remember, Josh, that film had a 48% on Rotten Tomatoes. What do you think this film has?
62.
I think we love this movie a lot more than other people do.
Yeah, so maybe.
This movie's got a 33%.
Oh.
It's lower than Part 6. And the audience score of Part 6 was 52. So that's what fans who watched the movie wrote, not critics. This one has a 37. Fans do not like this movie.
I don't mind it. It's not terrible.
I kind of like it. I think it's really goofy and it doesn't take itself too seriously, and it leaves the seriousness up to Jason. I kind of like that about it.
Maybe it's just because I really like Kane Hodder.
Yeah, I feel that. But I mean, like, we both do. Like, there's not many people who don't like him, so it just seems a little silly. I know the Nightmare on Elm Street and Halloween movies don't get much better ratings from critics. I mean, most slasher and horror films don't. They're just not considered like actual proper films. To critics, I like that personal penis enlarger and it's just a magnifying glass in a box. That's fucking hilarious. That's a Spencer's Gifts present right there. If I've ever seen one. Like we have a gift we have one at the store. It's called the Pecker Erector. And it's just a popsicle stick with some tape.
That just sounds awful.
Oh, I love it. Or like a self-prostate exam, and it's just like a fake finger. The good old days. By that I mean the current days, because I work there. Oh boy.
Still.
It's not the worst job in the world. Pays the bills.
No, hell no. It's great.
It's a party.
All the time. The party. Living the dream.
I always feel bad for Eddie. Oh, Eddie, why? We don't even get to see his kill. All the kills cut. I hate that. There's so many potential great scenes. And it's just like, no, we're just going to cut away right as it happens. Fuck you, MPAA. Douchebags. Ruin this fucking movie.
Boobs.
Yeah, we saw our boobs earlier.
Boobs.
Same old boobs. Nothing new.
Boobs.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's a little bit of a nitpick, but the jumpsuit Jason's wearing in the last film is different from the one he's chained up in underwater. And obviously, there's no reason continuity-wise why his clothes would be different. It's not like he changed underwater, but
no,
they obviously just couldn't have the same suit.
Also, the gloves are gone, so I'm happy about that.
Yeah, I agree. They must have just deteriorated away, or fish ate away at him or something, or the Loch Ness monster,
Oh yeah, leather will decay faster than like cotton or whatever it's made of, polyester.
Yeah.
Logic.
That's funny. Oh, girl. I think this is another really cool. They do a lot of like what's in the room shots in this one. Like we had the kitchen scene. I mean, Eddie's death was kind of like that. And I think this is the one, if you pay attention, you can see it. Because I know in some part she's in a room and the guy's head is in the room somewhere. And it's not till she sits down that you see it. So right when she walks in, it's right by the windowsill. You can actually see right off to the left, you can see the blood splatter on the white blanket. His head is actually there. You can kind of see the bottom of his chin. So it's not until she sits down, and there's more shots where you can see his head before she actually sees it. So keep an eye out for that if you guys are watching. Nice little touch. I like the bong was just casually sitting there and the really fake weed. Look at that.
They tried.
It was technically illegal back then, right? So they couldn't really pull that shit. But I love how, like, as a kid, I'm like, at least me, I never picked up on the fact that was a bong because it's a straight shooter. It's not the typical beaker bong look that, when you're a kid, you're like, that's what a bong looks like. Now I'm like, oh, that's a straight shooter. Nice. My youth has been corrupted.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I mean, we both sell bongs. We should probably know what they look like.
Nope. I'm a good boy.
Nope. We're innocent little boys. So you get a really good shot of the head there, and the blood especially. Keeping that continuity. I like it. I obviously never noticed that the first time. Saying that I saw that the first time would be like saying, spoiler alert for anyone who hasn't seen the Saw franchise, is like saying that you knew that John was behind it the whole time and he was the dead guy laying on the floor. Like, no one called that. No. It's one of the biggest twists of horror history. Like, you can't. I know we were talking about the Saw films a lot the last couple of days with a few buddies of mine, and we're saying how like the first three are the only ones worth ever watching.
Oh, 1,000%.
The rest of them are all right, but like nowhere close to the first three. The first three are gold. I really want to see Spiral though, the new one with Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson.
If you just want to finish the story just for shits and gigs, that's when you watch the other ones, but more or less just watch the first three.
Yeah, watch the first three, watch the summaries on YouTube. Or if you have another person doing a commentary like us or a podcast, just watch their episode. Support your local fans and your podcasters and commentators. God damn, Jason loves whipping bitches at windows.
Why not? You got access.
You know what I love about that shot? If you're going to whip her out the window and have some huge grand throw, why would it just cut to just like her blatantly just looks like she trips and falls on the ground? Like, you're already whipping her out a window. You couldn't have got the stunt person to do a better landing, like gone like the full mile. Like, in one of them, she gets whipped through the window and then she falls on a car roof and then rolls off the car. Maybe that was part of the humor behind the kill. They just wanted to be like, usually some grand thing happens when they land or something and it shows it all the way down. And here they just cut to a and then the score cuts and everything and it goes silent.
Yeah.
I think here we get another kind of head in the room. If you look closely, I believe Eddie's head is in the bush, I believe, right? In the little planter there. I think you can find Eddie's head.
They just like to hide little Easter eggs in this one.
I do. I like it. I think that a lot of that has to do with John, the director, being a special effects artist, that he likes to kind of show off his little prosthetics and heads and like little things here and there. You can tell a special effects director directed this movie because he likes to really utilize the scenes where there's a lot of special effects heavy, and that explains why probably they almost got an X rating, because he really, shot each shot for shot really well, so it looked almost real.
Yeah,
which is probably why they almost got an X rating. Oh no. Okay, so here she has a cold. You can kind of hear it in her voice.
I was thinking that wheezing.
Yeah, she's wheezing quite a bit. I love the chain Jason wears around his neck too. Completely plastic, obviously, but it's cool. I like it. And they just add the tinging around. I mean, come on, he's in so much latex and prosthetic. Imagine if it was metal too. Pretty sure he uses her, Miss Shepard here, Tina's mom, as a fucking shield. Yeah.
Why not? Bye, bud.
Literally uses her as a human shield.
Fucking that was amazing. Asshole.
They're dead. Actually, Melissa's not dead.
Real dead.
Oh, sorry. He's under the table. There he is. His neck's sliced open. At least I was kind of right. I knew he was still in the room somewhere. Every time I see the balloon, I'm just like, Pennywise?
Maybe.
Would you like a balloon?
See, again, like leaving little hints like that, being like, maybe we'll get like,
Pennywise versus
Yes.
Jason, Michael versus Jason, Freddy versus Jason, Carrie versus Jason, Leprechaun versus Jason, Pumpkinhead versus Candyman versus Jason.
I'm in. Jeepers Creepers.
The new Candyman movie comes out next month. I'm very excited for that.
There's a lot of good movies coming out this year.
So with season 2, I know we were talking about it off podcast, but Josh and I are going to do some bonus episodes of newer films too when we watch them. Obviously, we won't be able to do a commentary because they won't be out, but we'll do kind of like our first impressions and like our talks about what we thought of the film. So we might do that for Candyman if we end up watching Candyman before we get to those movies on the podcast.
I like me some Candyman.
Candyman.
All right, he's here.
Candyman.
Tony,
say it 5 times. Look behind me. Oh my God. Yeah, you want to meet him? You just say his name 5 times. You appears behind
3.
Biggie Smurz.
It's 3.
Biggie Smurz. I think it's 5.
Biggie Smurz. And he shows up.
Bloody Mary.
What the fuck? I just got to the party. Tina, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, the 3 times is from the South Park joke. He says you have to say Biggie Smalls 3 times in the mirror and he'll come kill you just like Candyman. Candyman is 5 times.
Oh, okay. Well, Candyman.
And it's because it's because of I believe the lynch mob chanted Candyman 5 times before he died. That's the reason. Because obviously, I don't know if you'll know the story of Candyman, but it was about this essentially person who was giving out candy and that was killing kids, I believe. And they blamed, someone was, I forget the exact story. Candyman fans are going to kill me, but I believe what happens is this man who gave candy to children, essentially just as a good Samaritan, was blamed for the deaths of these kids. And they pretty much killed him 5 times, right?
That's the remake version, because like in the original, he was an artist that gave his heart to like this wife or like hit this girl, and they weren't allowed to be because they were like slaves. So they like tied him up and like put honey on him, and then the bees came, So like
that's right. Yeah,
he swore revenge upon like generations and all that kind of stuff. So that's why he appears with like art
there
a lot, like written places. Yeah.
So
the original is pretty OG. So like. Oh, and it's sick.
The reason I never grew up with them is literally because there are a few films my mom was absolutely petrified as a kid. And 2 of them were Nightmare on Elm Street and Candyman. So I didn't get to watch Nightmare on Elm Street until I was older. And by the time I was older, the only reason I watched Nightmare on Elm Street is because I had watched the Jason films and knew who Freddy was because of Jason Goes to Hell and Freddy versus Jason. So I started watching the Nightmare on Elm Street movies more. But my mom never really watched Candyman and never really wanted me to watch Candyman because she remembered it as being terrifying. And it doesn't have any funniness to it like these movies do. Like these,
they're serious movies.
Candyman's serious, exactly. So I feel like watching them as a kid, there's not enough, cheeriness. It would have really scarred me emotionally.
This is a great death.
The cross-eyed.
I just like the weapon choice.
Oh yeah, the fucking huge ass blade. Like it's like a trimmer,
it's like a weed whacker. It's like a weed whacker, but they switched it out with like a different blade instead of the plastic piece.
A saw blade. I'm assuming it's for cutting branches off trees and shit. It's kind of what it's
probably
for, to cut through things. Up
Mama,
high.
Shut up, Tina. Grow up.
All right, Tina, it's up to you. You and your telepathic powers couldn't save your mom, so now you gotta save the world. Oh, he sees him now. He's like, I got my eyes on you, boy.
Turns out it's just like a love interest for Jason.
They end up just getting married. She's like, thank you for killing that bitch of a doctor and my mother. Now I don't have to deal with them anymore.
Exactly.
Kiss me, daddy.
Just be happy with the rest of our lives. Just naked bodies everywhere.
Naked bodies everywhere. I love how he's like dramatically pinned them up in this array. It reminds you a lot with the bodies nailed to the tree. I know the movie gets a lot of hate because obviously the director is human garbage. He was put into I believe he was on trial. I believe he went to prison for child pornography and stuff like that. But the Jeepers Creepers films, they are really damn good, man. It's mainly the first
good
one.
movie and like Justin Long, but the director is a fucking prick.
Yeah, which is a shame because it's such a unique and cool movie. The second one, not so much, but the first one's really good. I remember seeing this and being like, what the fuck? Like, Jason got to run for his money now.
Even Jason's like, what the fuck?
I mean, if this brought him back to life, I don't think this is going to put him in the ground, girl. But she doesn't know that. Snaky snake.
just makes him stronger.
Yeah. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
Now I have electric powers.
Yeah, was this King Kong versus Godzilla?
Exactly. This ain't gonna work.
Tina's Godzilla, Jason's Kong. Let's go.
See, I was actually gonna compare it earlier where it's the one movie where it was supposed to be a Kong movie, but it clearly didn't end up being that.
And they never
kind of like this. Yeah. Kind of like this, where it's just like this is supposed to be Freddy, but here's this blonde girl named Tina.
And it was supposed to be Carrie, but here's this blonde girl named Tina.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking fake. Now, do you think he was actually in that puddle? Do you think that's actually Kane Hodder? I mean, it'd have to be.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, because he gets up. Yeah. See how you hear the gasp of breath? I love that they add some noise to Jason.
Especially with the puddle scene, because that's probably him holding his breath. So as soon as he got up, he was like,
yeah. Oh, the exposed kneecap and everything. I love it.
The whole Jason concept for this one's beautiful.
Yeah. I feel like when I think Jason, like I think of two things. Three things really. I think of burlap sack Jason from part 2. I think of part 3 Jason with like, the solid before he's all deformed. He has like the bald head and like that kind of stature to him. And then I think this Jason. Those are the 3 Jasons I think of without fail. Like when I think of Jason Lives, I still think of like this Jason as the Jason from Jason Lives. Because they like, besides the exposed rib cage and the exposed bones and stuff, the overall like posture of them like very seems similar to me. But this looks way better.
1000%.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And see the sliding doors, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What? With his sliding hidden doors.
No doors for you.
I think
that would be a good
like
matchup,
right?
Leatherface versus Jason.
I would probably end really fast because Leatherface is just human after all.
Yeah, that's fair.
There's the head in the bush. I knew it happened at some point.
Shoving his finger.
Yeah.
It's
and
like
then she throws the head at him.
It's like that scene in Sausage Party.
I was laughing today at work actually because like there was a song playing and it was like a Rings of Saturn song or something with like a crazy sweep. And I'm just like to my buddy at work, I was like, yeah, how most people. Oh, here's when the porch falls on him here. So this is actually Kane Hodder when that happens. Brutal. But we were like, yeah, when guitar solos are written, especially like sweep parts, I swear when they're trying to figure out how they want it to sound, they just stick their tongue out and go blah, 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 and then shake their head really fast.
Most likely. At least that's what you do.
Yeah, and then we'll make that a guitar and then boom, done.
Yeah. Plug it into your MIDI, switch over sounds, bing, bang, boom. We got a whole song.
Girl, you electrocuted him to death, like did all that shit to him, and you dropped a porch on him and you think he's dead?
Nah.
Maybe telepathic, but you're stupid. The hand, the claw. It's Jim Carrey.
The claw.
It's the claw. I don't remember how Melissa dies, but I do remember it's pretty well deserved because everyone hates her at this point.
Yeah, I mean, she should have died first.
The bitch one always got to last, though. Because as bitchy and annoying as she is, she's probably the smarter of the other teens. Until this moment.
Yay.
Oh, good. Yeah. Just axe in the face and then they just whip her. Yep. Awesome death.
I like how fast hers was too, because like no one really liked her. So they were like, let's just get her out of the way. Like this would be like a 2-second fucking kill.
I think this is when we get the unmasking.
Yes, yeah, it's gonna come up within like the next few minutes.
It's when they walk up the stairs because she hits him in the face with the light, which is a really funny scene. The big nipple light.
Yep.
Like there's ceiling boob, and then there's nipple light.
I have a ceiling boob.
The lighting choice of the 80s.
Should just like drop kick them in the face.
I mean, her telepathic powers aren't that great. Telekinetic powers aren't that great, but she could just yeeted them through the fucking house.
Weird pine cone light.
So that scene right there, you can see the stairs broke where it wasn't supposed to, and he ended up hitting his head. That's rough.
Would have jumped over that railing.
There you go. Come on, hurry it up. It does not take that long. Come on. You're being chased by a killer. Don't take your time. Horror movie 101. This is how you fucking die. We know this. Oh no, it's Harry Potter.
A very angry Harry Potter.
You broke Harry's door. How's you
this
have
is
any
what
privacy?
You get. Yeah, this is where we get the mask.
Yeah, here it is. Oh, I love that it tightens and you can see like the ooze. Oh, that's cool. Oh, just searing to his face.
It's just pudding.
I love how he's so surprised. He's like, there's a lot of expression with this Jason with his mask off. Like he's like, oh no, you didn't, or oh fuck. Like right there. And I believe right before he gets torched, the same thing happens. He's like, don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Right down the hole.
Hole in one.
And now he's going to go fight Samara from the ring.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just like predicting movies that haven't even happened yet.
Exactly.
I mean, there's one series that I'm not the most comfortable with, but I would love to do. And that's if you want to do Ju-on, like The Grudge. It's kind of like the Japanese series, like not the Americanized ones.
No, they bug me, so that's a good one.
Yeah. Going back and revisiting that. You know what movie really fucked me up as a kid, though? Jaws.
Yeah, Jaws is awesome.
Jaws is great, but like, man, that head scene in the boat fucked me up so hard when I was a kid. Yeet!
Watch the Meg.
This is how Tina becomes Samara from The Ring. He's like, see here, he's like, I've had enough, bitch. That's the face Jason's got. Like,
get in the hole.
Yeah.
Get in the flask. Sorry.
She just wants to nail him, you know?
Get it? That was terrible.
And then, hey, with the boiler room and catching him on fire, like going back to Freddy being in the movie, right? The boiler's right behind him and it's on fire.
We'll just bring him right back to the boiler room. Bing, bang, boom.
Oh, I love how it just like pops up. Like gasoline thing. It's so funny. At this point, the amount of telekinetic ability she's, shown is like, come on. She could have done so much more with this power.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, at least she gets the job done.
But I think it's also because she's still a newbie when it comes to using her power, so she's just trying her best.
Here we get the fuck no face. Yeah. No, don't you dare.
Oh.
Boom, just ignites him from behind. I mean,
guaranteed Kane Hodder was like having Vietnam flashbacks right now.
From when he had his accident. Yeah.
Yes. Like you can't be like come out of that and not have been like, fuck, but he definitely learned. He knows how to do it. It's just.
Exactly. Yeah.
That'd be a spooky one.
And correct me if I'm wrong, this is the first time we've had Jason die by fire, right?
Yeah.
Like in the last one, he was on fire, but then he went in the water because the water was on fire.
Yep.
So.
Because he was still alive, and then like the propeller hit him in the face and a bunch of that crap. Then it was supposed to break his neck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Death by Snoot.
But the way Jason comes back is literally the silliest of all. So.
Even that end scene where they go on the deck, it's Freddy versus Jason. Dun, 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 dun. And then Hatchet comes out of nowhere. And his dad, who is also played by Kane Hodder. Just plays everyone in one movie. Your parents or the house? Because both.
Yeah, really though.
You had a mom by the beginning of this. Not no more.
Dun 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 dun. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Come on, Nick. Be the helper here.
I don't think that does shit.
No. No. It's funny that he did Hatchet because I don't know if you know this, but Kane Hodder is actually is a noted juggalo and a fan of Insane Clown Posse.
That's
To reflect this,
hilarious.
he has a custom charm of the group's Hatchet Man logo holding a machete inside of a hatchet, a reference to his role as Jason.
That's funny. I like that.
Oh, here we get the dad coming back. Oh, I'm gonna save you, Tina. Stupidest ending ever.
Yeah.
This is
now he's back in the water.
Lost me.
It's like an Ari Lehman reference from Kid Jason. The boy in the lake.
Just not a fan. Not a fan.
You definitely need some backup.
Well, yeah, after all that.
Go and just walk through the forest like 20 feet in each direction, and you're going to be finding some corpses. You need backup.
Jesus.
I love those weird hearse-looking ambulance car things.
Yeah, me too, actually. I like the look of them a lot.
It's like an oversized hearse. It'd be great for touring.
Imagine touring in one of those. It'd be so badass. So I like how Nick survives this one too. It's not just the final girl, it's both of them.
The boy in the lake.
But yeah.
Notice that the license plate says boo, because that's how we feel about this ending.
Boo.
Boo.
But as we said, a peaceful ending, not hinting at any sequels. That's just how it ends.
Crap ending. Really good movie though.
Yeah, I don't like the whole dad jumping out. Like, I think if it ended with just her finishing off Jason and just, yeeting him into the lake after an explosion or something, that would have been a lot better.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, got to do something new. I get it. Trying to be
Young
different.
Tommy Corey Feldman.
So yeah, that was New Blood, folks. I mean, good movie, not the best, not the worst, but definitely one you shouldn't skip out on. I mean, it's interesting enough anyway.
I mean, it's still better than the next two, so.
Yeah.
Bah, bah, bah.
Now, I definitely don't like the next one, Manhattan, but Goes to Hell has some merit. There's some things I like about it, but as a non-Friday the 13th movie, it's like the 98 Godzilla movie. Go into it not thinking it's a Jason movie, and you might actually enjoy it a little bit.
Nah, it's a poo movie.
Okay, yeah, I agree with you. It's not that great. Oh god, it's really not that good. Well, that being said, folks, if you guys have any other information about this movie, like I said before, definitely reach out to us and let us know if anything facts we've missed, or if you guys have another movie you'd want to see. We are not excited to do the next movie. I'm excited to make fun of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll laugh, and it's filmed in Vancouver. We'll get there. We'll get to that.
But at the release of this, we definitely have a really fantastic episode coming after this one, because we are finally finishing up our Godzilla series for the Heisei era. It's a big one. It's the Titan, the one that I've been building up this whole time.
Godzilla versus Josh.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, if your name was the Destroyer.
It is.
The Pussy Destroyer.
Yeah, exactly.
Alrighty, but yeah, Godzilla versus Destroy is next, folks. Definitely one of the top tier Godzilla films of all time. What we've been building up to this whole time. Lots of returning characters from the original. It's a great time. I can't wait for it. Coming to an end, it'll be nice to do that movie. And then we get to watch Jason Takes Manhattan, so we get to drop the bar pretty low. Oh God, it'll be a good time though. It'll be all right. But yeah, so highlights to take away from this movie: had a lot of potential to be some things that it wasn't. The soundtrack is done by FM and Nash the Slash. Super great. Definitely go check out Nash the Slash if you haven't. He's a phenomenal musician, does lots of great covers and originals, and is really just a unique all-around dude. And if you like horror soundtracks and 80s music, you have absolutely no reason to not go check him out if you haven't heard him before.
Agreed.
All right. Yeah, exactly. Josh agrees. Me and Josh agreed on something. Oh my God. No, it's a lie. We agree on a lot. All right, folks. But we hope you enjoyed your time on the podcast today. We definitely did enjoy watching this movie. And we can't wait to watch the next Godzilla film. And we can definitely wait to watch the next Friday movie. But thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We can't wait to do this next time for you guys. We hope you're all enjoying this podcast. If you guys have any recommendations for new things we should do for the podcast, reviews, type of movies like that, or maybe a separate idea, always reach out to us. We love to hear your opinions. And obviously, we love to hear your support on this podcast. It keeps us doing what we're doing. All righty, folks. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time. It's been Lucas and Josh. We love you as always, and we will see you next time.
Bye.